Hello and happy International Women's Day. Today I would like to talk to you about Susan Hill. I assume that most of you will know the name, and if you don't, I'm sure you will recognise the name of her most famous ghost story, The Woman in Black. Whether you know the story from the 1989 television movie, the 2012 remake, the wonderful theatre production, or her original tale, you can't escape the haunting of this story. I strongly urge you to read the source material if you haven't already done so. Right from the offset, Hill puts us into a familiar scene from any ghost story. The traditional telling of ghost stories at Christmas. She quickly sets her tale apart as Arthur Kipps flees from the scene when his family urge him to tell a story of his own. I'd like to read an extract here. Yes, I had a story. A true story. A story of haunting and evil, fear and confusion, horror and tragedy. But it was not a story to be told for casual entertainment around the fireside upon Christmas Eve. We then follow a young Arthur through his slow discovery of the Drablow mystery as he encounters the Woman in Black. For those of you who haven't read the original story, I won't spoil any of the details of the haunting, but they are expertly executed scenes where we go on a harrowing emotional journey along with the unfortunate Arthur Kipps and the little dog Spider. There is one detail I will mention, however, and that is the title of one of the most nerve-wracking chapters, Whistle and I'll Come to You. A little nod to M.R. James himself. The quality of Hill's writing can be seen in her other ghost stories as well, and I will leave you with an extract from one of my favourites. This is from The Small Hand, Chapter 1. And then, as I stood in the gathering stillness and soft spring dusk, something happened. I do not much care whether or not I am believed. That does not matter. I know. That is all. I know as surely as I know that yesterday morning it rained onto the windowsill of my bedroom after I had left a window slightly open. I know as well as I know that I had a root canal filling in a tooth last Thursday and felt great pain from it when I woke in the night. I know that it happened, as well as I know that I had black coffee at breakfast. I know because if I close my eyes now, I feel it happening again. The memory of it vivid. It is a physical memory. My body feels it. This is not only something in the mind. I stood in the dim green-lit clearing, and above my head a silver pairing of moon cradled the evening star. The birds had fallen silent. There was not the slightest stirring of the air. And as I stood, I felt a small hand creep into my right one, as if a child had come up beside me in the dimness and taken hold of it. It felt cool, and its fingers curled themselves trustingly into my palm and rested there. And the small thumb and forefinger tucked my own thumb between them. As a reflex, I bent it over, and we stood for a time, which was out of time. My own man's hand and the very small hand held as closely together as the hand of a father and his child. But I am not a father, and the small child was invisible. I highly recommend Susan Hill's ghost stories. If you haven't read either Woman in Black or any of her other tales, which can be seen on this video at the side, I strongly urge you to do so. She is known nowadays as the queen of the traditional ghost story, and I'm sure you will agree with me in saying that that is quite probably true. Thank you and happy reading.